So growing up in the '90s, I was lucky because all of a sudden manga was becoming mainstream. It was becoming easier and easier to find. Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore, but I used to have the original floppies of Dragon Ball, and man, like I poured over those, those random stories I had, but I love them so much. Especially was the original tournament, a couple issues from that, and then Muscle Tower from the Red Ribbon Army. Later at Walden Books, I was lucky to find this Inuyasha, Volume 2 of all things. Um, this is the original flipped, and I love this. I had no idea how these two characters got into this particular event, and I wanted more. But, kind of looking back on my childhood, what do these two things have in common? Well, both put out by Viz, which is true. Both put out by Masters of the Craft, which is also true. But they also share, both part of my childhood, but they also share original root, an inspiration, which has become over the years one of my favorite stories in today's subject. Let's look at Journey to the West, aka the Monkey King. Hey y'all. So this is Chaco's The Monkey King Book 1, Journey to the West. This is done by Magnetic Press. Gorgeous gold leaf. This was the Kickstarter. Nice texture to it. And Magnetic Press is known for their curved edges. So I'm going to briefly go through Book 1 today. I'm not going to spell out the story. There's a lot of it, and I recommend reading it. So it starts off. I will kind of give you some brief like highlights. So the way the Monkey King starts off with literally there's a rock, lightning hits it, and a stone monkey comes out of it. Our little guy is very like enthusiastic, and he's brave, unlike a lot. So they say like, hey, if you can go through the waterfall, it's told you'll become the Monkey King. Turns out like there's a great passive, great place to live, protection for the monkeys. So they go. Unfortunately, our little guy here, this now the Monkey King, learns about death, and he's like, "Oof, that is not for me." So he goes on a journey and finds a Taoist to teach him, like, basically to be immortal. So he does like this is where he gets a lot of his powers. He can transform, he can fight, he can fly, and this is where he becomes immortal number one. It's been many years, comes back. Turns out a lot of the monkeys are getting eaten by a demon, who just happens to be like a bigger mon. Is he? No, he's an ape. Hi. I've tried to film this like 4 times, and my sweet, sweet little cat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get out of here. So where were we? Ah, so I love the demons in this. They just are goofy fun. And like one of his powers, if you played Black Myth Wukong, he can pull his hairs out and transform into many versions of him, and he just beats up these nerds. Bull King, very big character. He's looking for a weapon, goes down to the ocean, to the lair of the dragons, and they're like, oh, we got this, we got that. And he's basically like, no, that doesn't work. What is this giant pillar? He pulls it and uses it as a staff. Like he transforms it, but this is where he starts getting problems. So, like, this first story is all of his adventures in heaven. It's him terrorizing heaven. So they give him a title, which ends up being Stable Boy. He doesn't know it. He thinks like he's a grand, it's like the grandest positions. It's not. It's literally like one of the lowest. But the thing I love about this, like I said, it's the acting, the cartooning, like the character designs, and the color work. So he finds out about that and returns back home. And what I love is like this is you see these monkeys age where he doesn't. And he's now known as the great sage equal to heaven, Sun Wukong. And yeah, he gets into fights. I believe this is with a demon. No, I'm sorry, this is with heaven. So they send this one of their big gate, and like I said, so much like this is just straight anime. But like the whole flying in the air, especially on these fire, you've seen this 1,000 times, and this is where it comes from. Is Journey to the West. And what I love too, it's like, hey, they're having a banquet. He gets upset because he doesn't get invited. It's like, I wonder why. So he ends up eating all the peaches. Well, Each one of these peaches make you like immortal. So he's like double immortal. He then takes these pills that also make him triple immortal. Like I'm not even joking. He's like I think by the end he's like quadruple immortal. And man, like a just great fight sequences. And what I love about European artists, they use more of a deadline where it's like a lot of artists, like especially for water, it's like Americans, especially manga, we're trying to incorporate that in line. They use paint and color, and it's amazing. So he gets kidnapped, gets put into a pot. Now, I want you to notice the eyes here. This pot, it's a Taoist pot. It will render him down. Nothing can survive. It's a bit smoky, so it turns his eyes gold and red. That's from the text. So basically, nothing can stop him until they call in the big gun, the Buddha himself. The deal is, if he can jump out of the Buddha's hands, he'll be free. If not, he'll have to be punished. Well, Wukong's like, I can do this. Jumps to the edge of the known universe. Like, there's nothing past here. Scribbles his name down, graffitis it. Then he decides, one more thing. I will take a leak. This is from the official text. This is literature. Comes back, and the Buddha, Buddha's like, he didn't do it. He's like, what are you talking about? He shows him his hand, his signature, and there's a faint whiff of monkey pee. So, our boy Wukong is stuck under a mountain for 500 years. And that is just the epilogue to this story. So we meet our main guy, the monk Tenzing. He's like the best of the best of the best boys. Picked by the gods. And this, I forget her name. She shows up. It's like the goddess from the west or whatever. She always shows up to help, and she even tells the monk like, "Hey, there's a monkey that can help you. Go free him." So this is where this journey starts. Now, like I said, our boy Tenzing, the best Buddhist monk. So he doesn't believe in violence. He doesn't believe in killing. Sun Wukong's murder a bunch. He doesn't give it a second thought. So how is our monk here going to control a monkey demon that's quadruple immortal? He gives him a hat, says a prayer. The hat turns into a crown that just causes a terrible headache. Orike and Inuyasha, down boy. Like I said, you've seen this 1,000 times. And they go on a journey. Like they're trying to cross this river. They get flung into the river. The horse gets eaten by a dragon. I don't know why. Abby wants to be a part of this. um, Hi. Yeah, you can do that. So, turns out no one can beat like Sun Wukong in the air. He's not so great at fighting in the water. It literally turns out like, oh, this is a misunderstanding. This giant dragon agrees to be their horse. I'm not even joking. That's from the text. This one, if you played Black Myth Wukong, you'll recognize this old monk with the fire. It's kind of hard because it's easy to go like, oh man, let me describe every little thing to you. But I want you to enjoy this, especially. I love, like I said, the bear demon here. It goes into his back, and this is wonderfully like it's all done by one creator, wonderfully written, wonderfully drawn. I also love this too. Like his fight sequences are simple, but then you got this cloud, which is very. It feels very ink wash paint style, like a Chinese or Japanese. Um, Hi, abs. I know, but it's just a great use of style, and especially like I said, because I believe he's French, drawing a Chinese myth, and it gets ridiculous. And this is from the text, like Wukong changes himself into a pill. Bear swallows pill. He fights him from the inside. Bear agrees to wear the crown to get rid of Wukong. Same thing. He gets poisoned. Oh, he gets turned into a good Buddhist monk. Pigsy, if you've read Dragon Ball, This is the exact same story with Oolong. But I mean, look at that acting. Ugh. And it's almost like there's a certain quality of a professional with this, because man, it is like it's very sketchy. It feels very fast, but because of that, it's like he's doing things. I'm assuming it's a he, um, but they are doing things where it's like it's interesting. Where a more precise line, you lose some of this energy and this flowiness. And in some ways, like the more sketchy quality makes it feel like a fairy tale. Like it's not as precise. And yeah, Wukong changes into his bride. They fight. Turns out he was a one of the heavenly hosts back in the day. And he agrees to go on them to the Journey of the West. And what's interesting is that's the first level of Black Myth Wukong. This is the second level right here, this storyline. So, man, like I said, this is a 2 volume. I think they now sell it as one. I highly recommend this. It's just a lot of fun. But like I said, this story has inspired so many other animes and myths. And yeah, it concludes in book 2. Unfortunately, I wish there was like a book 3, a book 4, because man, like just so, especially once you like one, we don't even have the full team yet. And like I said, look at this. Like this is a very sketchy quality, but it's like it's from someone who's confident enough. They know what to do. I mean, like there's no mount there, but you don't need it. And it's kind of great where you go from like almost simplistic, like almost no detail in one panel to a bunch to kind of indicate like, and it's a fast read. This also came with a sketchbook. I wish this was like put into the final. I love Magnetic Press, but they do some things that's Kickstarter only. So if you try to buy it later, like you kind of miss out. But yeah, this is Sun Wukong. Like I love this character so much. I even have a Lego of him. Like I said, it's one of my favorite stories. I can't recommend it highly enough. And this is one of the best versions I've seen in comics. Overly sarcastic productions. I'll put a link underneath here. Did a version of. They've been doing like a fuller version of Journey to the West. Highly recommended. So anyway, you know the deal, y'all. Check out Bang. Support me there so I can keep making my epic comic. But definitely check this out. I can't recommend it highly enough. So thank you all.